Let's roll.
Welcome back to the Heard That podcast. Today, on our topics, we got R.I.P. Bob Uecker to start us off.
Yeah.
He just died today, 90 years old, about to be 91. Tough scene.
Disappointing that his last baseball related thing was watching the Brewers get eliminated by the Mets.
Yeah, disappointing that he did that a lot in his time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Brewers aren't historically a good franchise in the playoffs, and it just continued for Bob Uecker's last year.
Yeah, ever since he went to limited time on the radio, it wasn't really the same. But
no, but he still was there for
yeah,
almost every big moment, even when he was part time. It just felt like he was always there for the biggest moments. So
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, R.I.P. to Bob Uecker.
Yeah, I wonder who's
great voice. The guy he was kind of grooming up to become what he was is okay on the mic, but nothing's ever going to be able to replace the character Bob Uecker nor the person.
Yeah, nothing's going to be able to replace Harry Doyle.
And then we got the national championship.
So with the Natty, it is next week Monday. It's Ohio State and Notre Dame. 7 and 8 seed. Overall, that's a pretty good Natty for me.
Right now, betting odds have Ohio State as 8-point favorites, and I kind of see exactly why. I mean, Ohio State just been there before, done that before, and they're a really good team.
Yeah, they're looking really good over the last couple of weeks. Their biggest what if was the competition that they played this season and the competition that they played closely this season, but then they got into playoffs and all of that went away. They're just on a tear right now. They look like OSU again. 8-point favorites. I could definitely see that. I don't think Notre Dame's gonna let that happen. Their defense is obviously really good. They're Notre Dame after all. It'll be a closer game, I feel, than 8 points, maybe not, but yeah, I think we both have Ohio State winning that one.
Yep. And then, speaking of playoffs, you got your NFL playoffs.
Yeah, for the NFL, we got the Saturday games that nobody really wants to watch. I think that's why they made them Saturday, telling you to go enjoy that Saturday. It's the Texans and the Chiefs. If the Texans win, I might just...
I lose my mind, honestly.
I might shake my arms.
I might not even know what football is at this point, because Kansas City Chiefs are 8-point favorites in an NFL playoff game. That shouldn't happen. Nonetheless, later on we'll tell you who's even more favorited for a game.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs should walk into their own home and whoop the Texans' ass.
Yeah, I'd imagine they
honestly, there's no reason that the Chiefs shouldn't win this game.
Yeah, I'd imagine they dominate. For me, for that game, we're gonna take a pick each for this game. I'm gonna take Xavier Worthy to get a touchdown in that game. I feel like he's been getting added a lot more to their offense. Week by week, he's been progressing in his touches. Obviously, we didn't see them play last week. They're coming off a bye week. They're going to have to throw in some stuff right away to get that lead early, and I think he'll be a part of that.
I think that Travis Kelce always lights it up during the playoffs. Yeah. Him and Patrick Mahomes have something special going on there. I honestly think that you can either take the receptions for Kelce or the receiving yards. Really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I think he's going to be heavily involved because he always is in the playoffs. And the only thing I have to say about that is hopefully they're not cold from not playing for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Chiefs will get it done. And Travis Kelce will be a pivotal point in that, especially if this does end up being his last season. He's not going to go out without a bang.
Yeah, these dudes were 15-1. From a starter's perspective in the regular season. Didn't score 30 points once. They didn't have to. Their defense has been really good this year. Houston's offense has, for the most part, looked like hell last week they figured it out after their first 5 drives. But
honestly, I still don't even put that credit on the offense either. Because honestly, the defense put them in great positions. Whenever they got a turnover, it was in plus territory for that offense. Yeah. The offense didn't have to do much in that game. Sure, that's something you could say. But honestly, that offense right now looks so bad. It's not good enough to beat an actual good playoff team.
They actually looked good last week overall. Stroud had 300 total yards. Stroud, when he can run, he's at his best. He's such a good runner. He just never wants to run. He ran 4 times last week, and they were all chunk runs, picked up a first down. and it just opened up their passing game a lot more in that second half. The
then-
first half, though, was still ugly.
Yeah.
The second game on Saturday is a Saturday night game. It's a little more interesting. It's Detroit against Washington.
That's the game I'm actually least interested in.
I'm interested in it because I'm going to see how far Jaden Daniels can go. They're probably going to lose, I'd imagine, but I don't think he'll let them get blown out.
Vegas has them getting blown out in the playoff game. It's 9.5 point favorites for the Lions.
Yeah.
I think 9.5 might honestly be light.
Yeah, David Montgomery is back this week.
That offense has just been rolling every game they play. It does not matter who it's been against, really, other than their one off game against Buffalo that they had this year. Like, they are just rolling, and there's nothing that should stop them.
Yeah, the Commanders' offense last week looked really good overall. They just had a few costly decisions, a lot of turnover on downs. I think they had like 2 or 3 of them in the second half. So if they could clean that up a little bit, last week they could have easily hung like 30 on Tampa. Instead, they only hung 23. Their defense looks really good if they get rid of Marshawn Lattimore. He looked old, to say the least.
Yeah, they had to put an extra man over on his side just to help him out.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
It did help against Mike Evans eventually, but Mike Evans' damage was already done to that point in the game.
Touchdown right before the half.
Crazy stat of the day. I will roll with the Commanders have won their last 5 games on the last play of the game, each of their last 5 games. So I don't think a good team. They're a good team. They're getting it done at the crunchiest moments. But I don't think that's good enough to beat the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I think Detroit's going to stop.
They'll have to find a way to pull out of that early. And I just don't know if that'll happen. It depends on how Costco-looking Detroit's defense is. When I look at the stat sheet against Minnesota 2 weeks ago when they played, and their defense was like 5 people that I couldn't even name, and they were actually getting playing time. That's not a good sign at all.
They locked him up.
So yeah, they locked.
I mean, it doesn't. At this rate, it has not mattered who Aaron Glenn has had.
Yeah.
He has been getting the job done as the D coordinator, scheming up his guys and just destroying offenses for no reason because he's got a bunch of no names.
Like, who the hell is Pat O'Connor? And
No
why
idea.
did this dude actually get playing time last week? Who is
No idea.
Mitchell Agudi? Absolute stud. Dude's got a name like Will Clapp. But yeah, overall.
Will Clapp might just be the most legendary name.
Yeah.
Until we get General Booty.
Or Parker Titsworth.
Oh, that's a good one. And then
Yeah,
we got a pick.
Yeah, we got picks for that game. Like I said, Monty's back. Have they missed him? No. But will he score a touchdown? I'm gonna go yes. It's been a while since he's had the ability to do it. I think they want to get him one.
My personal avoiding Montgomery is simply because he's hurt already. I mean, yes, he's been cleared to play the game, but like also you're kind of like on that risk of one step away from one more injury and you're shut down for the game. So
I don't think it'll be an even split this week.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be probably Jahmyr Gibbs probably 75-80% of the workload to Monty getting 25-20, like somewhere around there. So I'm actually gonna roll a oddball Jameson Williams touchdown. He's been getting the job done, and they find a way to get him involved, and he's been getting more and more involved the later legs of the season. Yeah. Really, if there was this availability to bet something, give me the O-lineman touchdown because it's gonna happen. Because Dan Campbell does not give a damn about what anyone thinks, and kind of does what he wants. So.
JMO's last couple of games, he's been getting a lot of targets. Against Minnesota, he had 6 catches, only for 34 yards. But the game before, 5 catches, 75, and 2 touchdowns against San Fran. He's getting a ton of involvement now. They like how he's moved as a pass catcher. And overall, he's just been getting an increased role.
Yeah.
Sunday, we got a 2 o'clock game. It's the Rams and the Eagles, and
the Sunday games are so much fun.
The Rams on Monday shocked the world, I think. Actually, let me rephrase this. Minnesota shocked the world with how bad they were, and the Rams just took care of business in every aspect.
They made the Rams defense look absolutely ridiculous, allowing 9 sacks That should not happen. I get the Rams got some young, very quick pass rushers, but
really
like you shouldn't allow 9 sacks. And this is coming from Bears fans who see that on a daily basis. So
the only thing I think that the Rams defense could really improve at is cornerback, but last week their corners played really, really well. Their pass rushers are going to be good for a while. Jared Verse, steal of the draft. Braden Fisk, another steal. They got Kobe Turner, who they've had for a little bit. Byron Young. They just have so much good young talent. They draft so well. It's actually unheard of.
Well, and what gets me at the end of the day is like that Rams offense just always goes no matter the one man down, next man's up, and they're good.
Yeah,
like as long
as Puka or Cooper Kupp is healthy,
that's where I was going.
They're fine.
With that.
If both of them are healthy, whoo, watch out.
And Kyron Williams always scoring touchdowns. Yep. Like it does not matter. Kyron, you could say I'm gonna end up being wrong today, but like I'm taking a Kyron Williams touchdown.
I'm gonna take a really oddball pick here. I think the Rams are gonna win this game. Like I'm gonna be very bold, but I'm not gonna take their money line just in case they don't, because the Eagles are still a really good team. I can't dispute that.
So you'll take the point difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the spread there
for the
6
Rams.
Points. Yep, I'm gonna take that. I think they can do it. Philly, like I said, really, really good team. We got AJ Brown questionable right now. I'm positive he'll play, but
questionable that he cares about the game what?
Last week
he was reading on the sideline.
Yeah, last week he only had 1 catch for 10 yards last week. Their offense in general last week wasn't really great against Green Bay, but it didn't have to be. They just stomped them. I'd imagine it'd be better this week though, but I'm gonna lay the Rams +6. Then after that we got the game of probably the year. Last time they played, it wasn't close. Derrick Henry just kind of pulled their pants down one by one. The Ravens won 35-10. That is Baltimore against Buffalo. However, I think Buffalo has improved quite a bit since that point, but Baltimore has too. So it should be a really, really good game.
I mean, right now they have it sitting at the Bills are 1-point favorites at home. Insane. So like, really, if you play this theory of you get 3 points for being home, that means that like Baltimore's favored by 2.
Yeah.
If it wasn't at their place. So.
Yeah. Baltimore, a lot of their offensive production was obviously on the ground last week. Buffalo has a really good run defense, but Baltimore could be getting Zay Flowers back this week. I haven't seen any practice updates about him, which is
I have not either yet.
Which is kind of interesting, but it just says questionable with the knee injury. But he elevates that offense.
Practice updates, though, is that Buffalo signed a quarterback from the Ravens.
Oh, yeah, Anthony
on the
Brown,
practice squad.
My boy.
To replicate what Lamar Jackson is going to do to them.
Yeah.
And
good plays.
That's a good idea and all, but nobody's got the instincts that Lamar Jackson has. Yeah. So really trying to replicate that's going to be difficult. I guess do the best thing and get the guy who's sitting underneath him. But, also, at the end of the day, best of luck to you, Bills. I honestly think I'm going to take the Ravens straight up to win this game.
I take this back to what Micah Parsons said. I think last year, actually no, it was the beginning of this year when they played the Ravens. They got stomped by the Ravens, the Cowboys did. And he said that they were scheming for Lamar all week. They were hoping he can stop him. He can stop him from making the big plays. And he said, there's just nothing you can do to replicate it. Nobody in the league can move like him at the quarterback position.
Well, and the other thing with that is, like, just the addition of Derrick Henry alone, you now have to actually care about their normal running game, nonetheless what Lamar Jackson's going to do in the running game. And then, if he's not having it on the ground that day, he can sling it. He's going to get it done through the air.
He just had the best statistical passing season in terms of rating and accuracy.
I guess my bold take out of this is no matter what, even if Lamar Jackson loses this game, I still think he wins the MVP.
Yeah,
his end of season was unlike anybody else's.
Yeah, 41 tutties passing this year, only 4 interceptions. It's the best touchdown to interception ratio of all time. Last week, if you watched the game, they just stomped the Steelers in the first half with read options. Whether it was going to be Derrick Henry stiff-arming Minkah Fitzpatrick or Lamar shaking the outside linebacker's boots and then going for 10.
I mean, and that's a tough game. That's like a trap game for Baltimore to have went into.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact that it is your division. Yeah. You are still favored by so much. But, they went in, they got got it done, and I honestly think that for my pick, I'm gonna also just take the Derrick Henry touchdown because it's gonna be a combination between him and Lamar Jackson who are getting it done against Buffalo. I don't care about that run defense in Buffalo. Derrick Henry has been getting it done no matter where he's played against. So
my pick for this game is gonna be very hyper random, but it's gonna be a Mark Andrews touchdown. He's racked up a few of them this year. He had 11 after starting horribly weeks 1 through 3, and then a little further.
Question for you: can you get me Dawson Knox's catch line? Random, I know, but
he got
he gets it done in the playoffs. I remember oddly
at the start of the year.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see like where they rate him at, because like if it's a low catcher amount, I'd consider taking that as well.
His catch line on Fliff is 1.5.
I'd take it.
Yeah,
I'd take the 1.5 because he had like 3 or 4 last week,
and let me check.
It was all like that was who Josh Allen was going to on that play, like for certain.
He had 2 last week.
It felt like he's been more involved.
He's been fluctuating between 2 and 1 a lot. He's had his high this year was 4, but he had 2 quite a bit this year.
Yeah.
Obviously Kincaid's still a primary guy in that offense, primary tight end.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's like you have to take this pick, but like I feel like comfortable taking it.
Yeah, it's a reasonable pick. Like I said, I'm gonna go Mark Andrews touchdown, and then we're in agreement here. I'm gonna take at least Baltimore to cover the spread.
Yeah, the spread's 1 point, so
I'm gonna take that. You know, they can lose 28-27, but I'm gonna take that. I like the Ravens a lot. Obviously, I have them winning my Super Bowl on our playoff bracket that we're doing.
As well did.
Yeah,
just because I think they are a good team. I could also see a world where Josh Allen just actually breaks out of this, and Josh Allen ends up leading that team down there to win, because like he's been kind of rocking with a bunch of, I guess, nobodies at receiver for a while now, and he's still getting it done.
Another thing we haven't even mentioned though is how good Baltimore's defense is. They absolutely bottled Pittsburgh for the first half last week. Second half, us just threw it up and got a few tutties.
I feel like they also eased off the gas once they had that giant lead. So I think just as long as they don't do that in the future, like they'll be fine.
Yeah, if they could cut Brandon Stevens right now and replace him with like I don't even know, Charles Tillman maybe,
guy off the street even, I think would be better.
Then they'd probably be like the unanimous number 1 defense.
But anyways, those are our playoff picks and kind of the playoff breakdown.
Yeah, so let's go.
I think let's roll into
the game times for that. On a side note here, 3:30 on Saturday for Texans Chiefs, and then 7 on Saturday for Lions Washington. And then Sunday is 2:00 for the Rams and Eagles, and 5:30 for Baltimore and Buffalo. Definitely.
I feel like 2:00 is very odd for a football.
They want to give them that extra 2 hours of rest heading into the next week. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, because they get the least break because they had to have a Monday playoff game.
Yeah, that's so.
Says whoever, but evermore. Immaculate Grid.
Yeah, let's roll an Immaculate Grid here. We're just gonna do whatever the one for today is. This might take quite a bit of time, to be honest.
It honestly could. It could also take no time. I really haven't gotten a good look at what today's is.
We're going to do the baseball one to clarify. You got men's basketball, women's basketball. If you do that, you're a psycho. Football, hockey, if you do that, you're a psycho or Canadian. Soccer, if you do that, you're a psycho or Latino.
Well, most of the world loves soccer.
If you're watching this pod, you're probably not doing any of those.
Correct.
You might do football.
You might do football. Football, American football.
Yeah, and basketball. Not women's basketball. All right, we got in the top left square, we got a Boston Red Sox and a Tampa Bay Rays.
Let me show the people what we got rolling here.
Hopefully that'll focus.
Yeah, that did. Okay, cool. So we got the Boston square and the Tampa Bay.
So there's an easy one here for me. It's David Price, but I feel like a ton of people have that. David Price, legend.
Question. Did Carl Crawford end up playing for Boston?
He 100% did.
So I feel like that's a hidden one. I feel like David Price is like easy.
Everyone knows who David Price is.
Carl Crawford is kind of on the edge of that. Like
I know we could get so much more deeper into our bag here.
Oh, I'm certain we could, but
we don't have all that time.
We don't have that time to. So.
We're going to do Carl Crawford. It's a 14%. We got Tampa Bay and the Orioles.
Tampa Bay and the Orioles. Second, I feel like a second baseman pitcher. Oh, let's do Carson Oliver Drake. Oliver Drake is a relief pitcher who is Carson's favorite relief pitcher.
If go look his highlights up on YouTube, you might not find them. They might not exist, but
we got to do the homie.
Yep,
homie solid.
0.5%.
Hell yeah.
Then we got a Ray and a 300+ batting average season. Little Wander Franco action here.
Can we?
I'm sure we could. I want to look him up. I won't type it in. I don't even.
Is he allowed to be on Baseball Reference anymore? Okay.
Ben Zobrist would be a good pull here. I feel.
I do like the Ben Zobrist pull.
I don't know if Randy ever did. He's a current player.
I feel like well. I don't know how good Fred McGriff was while he was.
I don't know if he ever hit 300. His career average.
What does it say? Does it say it had to be with that team, or
I'd imagine.
Because I want to try Fred McGriff just to
I feel like
try it.
I feel like a lot of older people.
Here, I'll check on my iPad afterwards. But
I feel like a lot of older people who play this one would go Fred McGriff.
I think with Ben Zobrist would be an okay one.
I think or Evan Longoria. Ben Zobrist is probably. If he didn't hit 300,
he didn't hit 300. Well, now that we messed it up,
I'm gonna crash out.
Now that we messed it up,
we're gonna put in Fred McGriff.
And now I'm gonna be real upset if it happened.
He did 8%.
All right, we're rolling it on the iPad now. You keep naming them. We'll figure this out. We get a mulligan.
Yeah, we get a mulligan. We're gonna load it up on the iPod or iPod.
iPod.
That's quite a big iPod. All right, then. Yeah, we'll just roll it on here.
Well, we'll have mulligans go on that.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Okay.
So we have
a Carl Crawford.
Yeah. Carl Crawford, Oliver Drake, and then McGriff across the top row.
Okay. Carl Crawford, Oliver Drake, and Fred McGriff.
Yes.
I really felt like Ben Zobrist was more of an average hitter than that.
He probably hit 299.
Probably.
All right.
Okay. Now we got Phillies and Boston.
Yeah.
And a name that I got is Jonathan Papelbon.
I was literally just thinking the same thing.
I
believe Kurt Schilling might have played for Philly, but I don't know him that well. So.
How do you spell Jonathan?
Without the H.
Jonathan.
Yeah. There he is.
Boom. 24%. Yeah. Wow. We are really that in sync with everyone else in the world. Got it.
Then we got a Philly and an Oriole. Why are Orioles players so hard to name?
Philly and
I feel like we could probably toss up a Jamie Moyer here. It's like a 50% chance of hitting. Philly and Oriole.
Philly. Let's leave that one behind. We'll move to the next one quick. I think a Philly and a 300 hitter should be pretty easy.
It's really easy.
Bryce Harper.
There's a lot of them. That's going to be too common. You know, they got. Well, I mean, all of these.
Will it though? Like all of them are kind of pretty common.
Ryan Howard, Harper, Jimmy Rollins.
Fine, we'll go Jimmy Rollins.
Maybe a Bobby Abreu pull.
No, Jimmy Rollins. If you want to check Bobby Abreu, you can on there.
Yeah, we definitely. Yeah, I was about to say.
Jimmy Rollins, 17%. We lock that in.
Let me check out Bobby Abreu here. He was a 2%.
Bobby Abreu was. Okay, my bad.
All right, we got a Red Sox and a played first base minimum 1 game. These are fun because you can pick the most random players.
You can pick quite the random player, and I feel like somebody people will think of kind of, but like he didn't do much of actually playing first base. Is David Ortiz.
Yeah, that's just going to be way too
common. It is going to be way too common because he's a DH, but like...
Who is a just wild card Red Sox player who played 1 game at first?
Did Justin Morneau? No, Justin Morneau was mainly.
I'm trying to think of like
Twins.
veteran cards from MLB this year.
That's where I really like dig in.
This is like so tough because there's so many people.
There's so many people, but we don't really have that time to like think of better people.
Yeah, their current first baseman is Casas. This is tough. Our ball now, like, we're not in baseball season form.
No.
Like, if we did
we will get better at this as we go.
If we did
I
the football
promise.
one, we'd be well oiled right now.
Oh, we'd be rocking and
we're
rolling.
about to get a horrible score on this.
Oh yeah.
Red Sox played first base.
I mean, Tristan Casas is an easy answer. David Ortiz is an easy answer.
Yeah.
Adrian Gonzalez.
Jim Rice. Either of those guys. Who knows who Jim Rice is? Like,
did Jim Rice actually play first base ever?
I think he had a secondary. Let me.
Yeah, you could roll it on there.
Yeah,
see.
Let me roll it in here.
I'm pretty confident.
He didn't. So
okay,
maybe skip him. Let's probably go like
Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Adrian Gonzalez.
Cool. Hanley probably did it for them too.
I mean, check it. You have so many cancellations.
2%.
Adrian Gonzalez is a good one.
That's a good one.
Um,
Orioles played first base for one game.
Ryan Mountcastle. I don't know why, but that is who I feel. 9% on Mountcastle.
All right, not terrible. And we got a 300 hitter who played first for a minimum of one game. That's probably half of the population.
I gotta see. I gotta see one person.
I closed it out.
Oh man!
All right.
I gotta see if he did it because I don't know if he ever did it. Oh yeah. Oh, that's our pick.
Ooh.
That's our pick right there.
A
Prince
Why is
Fielder.
he a 0.4%?
Because everyone thinks of him as always the power hitter, never the guy who hit a decent average.
All right.
So Prince Fielder.
Our last spot.
And then our last spot is the dead center of the map with the Phillies and the
Orioles.
Somebody's yelling at this right now, being like, "Come on, just take the easy pick." Who is the easy pick?
Yeah.
Who do we got? I'm even just trying to think right now as it sits who plays for both or who's played for both. Like,
I think Rollins played for the Orioles at some point.
I don't think he did. I think he was majority. I think almost his whole career was Phillies.
Let me check.
Sure.
Because either way, we can't roll it.
No.
Ooh, he did not. Who's a guy?
Who's a? Why are we struggling? Pitchers. Like,
Yeah.
let's just go to pitchers. Pitchers are usually the easier route.
This is so tough.
Like,
yeah.
Why do I feel like Sir Anthony Dominguez? Like, on an oddball chance?
Don't know.
Well, that's a check me on that situation. Which is unfortunate, but Sir Anthony Dominguez, maybe?
He did.
Boom!
I didn't even know he did. 4%.
Because I think he pitched...
I think they traded him.
Yeah, they traded him to...
At the deadline, and then he came back. That's a 4%.
I'm content with that.
Yeah, that's gonna be...
Our rarity score is an 80, unfortunately.
That's not horrible.
But, like, could have been better had we had more time. The paddle bond pull just was bad.
One messed us up quite a bit there.
That was just bad. I mean...
Yeah.
We could have been better. The Mountcastle one could have been more thought through. I figured less people would pull Ryan.
Oh, we could have done like Ryan O'Hearn. Nobody would know who that is.
MLB The Show legend.
BR legend. Yeah.
Oh, dude, we could have done like a Adam Dunn situation or something.
Dunn.
Some oddball.
Big
but
donkey.
Anyways, I think
what else? We definitely might have had something else. Where's your notes?
Notes? I think that was it. Immaculate Grid was kind of the end of it.
Was it?
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, we got to get out of here.
Oh, that's what we had. We had viewer questions, but we don't have viewer questions because we've been terrible at uploading.
Let's check the group chat,
actually.
We're
doing group chat questions. And are there any worth of value?
All right. John, we know you're listening to this. You said, what do you guys think of the whole Dallas situation? Who will they hire? Do they get Shedeur? Do they get Prime? Do they get Genty? So, the news got dropped on everyone the other night that they were talking to Deion Sanders to be their next head coach, just out of the blue. Nobody drew that conclusion really, but a lot of people thought he could take the Raiders job because that was open, and like halfway through the season, Shedeur was like posting that he was in love with Las Vegas, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people thought that could have been an opportunity, but this was just kind of a bit shocking.
I mean,
because nobody talked about it for a while.
To me, it's not like brutally shocking. I was saying this last season already that like it lines up where Shedeur would come into the league, Mike McCarthy's job would be done, and I just figured the next step for Prime is to go coach in the NFL. So I wouldn't be shocked if he did it without Shedeur as his quarterback. Honestly speaking, I think that he sees Dallas as quite the opportunity to further his legacy that he's already had there.
Yeah, and his speech to his new college recruits, it kind of sounded like he was really short with them. Like he was still like accepting of them, obviously, but it just didn't seem like one of his normal speeches that he would give. And it kind of seemed like the tone of his voice was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna be here much longer. Before the season, I don't know.
I don't know if that is the route they go.
Yeah.
Just because it is like such a different game. Like college to NFL is quite the different game. It's now starting to get closer with how college is operating, but there's still that separation.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see if he does it. If he does, I wouldn't be the most surprised person ever. But like, if he doesn't, then he just stays at Colorado and kind of does his thing.
If I'm Jerry Jones, what I would do is, A, donate a camera to the Heard That podcast. Anyway.
Good option.
What I would do is I would just fully commit to essentially clearing house. Not fully clearing house. You obviously have some stars on the team that you locked up for a while. What I would do, though, is I would hire Deion and I would trade Dak. And I would find the best suitor that you could for Dak. I don't know who would want him. The guy... It's kind of like me in my Madden playoffs.
I think that's like a Raiders type of situation.
Yeah, I think
they give up their pick, and maybe they get like a second or third back, and that's just kind of how that works out. Because the Raiders also have a lot of capability to eat up contract on the year too.
Yeah, they have a lot of cap. The Browns.
The Browns are in the worst position.
They'd be an option, but they'd have to do quite a bit to bring that on. Dak would obviously go for at least the first round pick. There's not really.
I think
there's not really a discussion about
right
that.
Now
yeah, it's just going to depend on cap space around the league for these quarterback needy teams.
Well, and I think that's too like another. That's even if you think he's worth a second round pick.
Yeah.
Just the cap issue and stuff. I mean,
that's the only thing that would affect his trade value is the fact that they did just sign him to that huge contract, obviously.
And I mean, are you content with dropping back to a rookie in the NFL? That's the other point.
That would be the issue, but
like
with that point, Dak hasn't really done anything to deserve where he's at. He wins a lot in the regular season. Cool. There's a lot of quarterbacks who do that. The guy is horrible in the playoffs. Like, absolutely terrible. He just forgets how to run an offense. Granted, that could be part of his coach and Mike McCarthy. I don't think he's a good coach. If he came to Chicago,
I'd be upset.
I'm going to be a full-time Ravens fan for the foreseeable future. But, like, overall, it could have been on that. I'm not going to put all the blame on Dak. But I think at the same time, if you're getting rid of the coach, I think you want to keep Micah Parsons. And I feel like if you bring in Deion, he's going to want his son to be his quarterback.
I see that being a good potential, but like also I could see still a world where Deion does it with Dak Prescott as his quarterback and Shedeur somewhere else around the league.
It'd be funny coaching against his son, though.
Yeah,
that would be.
But like, at the end of the day, you know your kid better than anybody else.
He's scheming a game plan just to get his kid lit up. He's like, all right, we're gonna get 12 sacks this game.
Shedeur finds a way to the Giants and then
plays him
twice a year.
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be funniest outcome possible.
So that's definitely interesting. Thank you for bringing that up.
That was a fun one. Yeah. I did enjoy that train of thought.
Next week, hopefully, we will have a new Bears hire. And Ben Johnson, hopefully.
Possibly, probably not. If the Lions continue,
he's our betting favorite.
Yes.
We can agree to have him, like, verbally agree for him to be our coach.
Well, because we can't yet.
But like, he can't sign obviously until the season's over, and then until the new season starts, which is like.
Well, he can't really commit to anything until the Lions season is officially over, and then he can verbally commit.
Yeah, that's league policy. They have to do all their meetings and interviews on Zoom or whatever right now.
Which, what difference does it really make? But whatever.
Yeah, we just completed the interview with McCarthy. As I said, I don't want him. It wouldn't be the end of the world. He'll win us a few regular season games, and that's new for us at least. But I want to win a lot. So. Well,
and I don't think just with how young Caleb Williams is in comparison to what he's kind of worked with.
Yeah.
Especially these past couple years of having Dak at least be established in the league now. It's to start over with another rookie quarterback. I just don't know if he could really do it. And I know Caleb's not a rookie, but
he's never worked with anyone who's as much of a versatile talent as Caleb Williams is. He's worked with Aaron Rodgers, probably the second most talented quarterbacks to come through the league. Dude can just fire bullets, whatever, from the pocket though. A guy like Caleb likes to extend plays, make off-balance throws all the time. So it'd be interesting for sure. But
yeah, I think that one should wrap it up though.
Yeah. Like I said, hopefully next week we'll have some more interesting news. Definitely going to bring back the Immaculate Grid.
Immaculate Grid was fun.
We'll be more touched up on that. I'm going to really try to not zone out and get viewer questions out next week.
Please.
Hopefully, we're recording this on Thursday. Hopefully it'll be up tonight, but if not, probably tomorrow at least. Then we'll have clips up on Instagram and whatnot. Follow the Instagram if you haven't already. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube. I feel like more of you guys are watching on YouTube than listening on Spotify, so
please check out the Spotify if you got time.
Yeah, do whatever you need to. But,
all right, that's it.
We gotta
on this one. We gotta get out of here.
Move some iron. We will see you guys next week.
Deuces.